All right, we made it to the top 50 of the top 100 dueling card games. You could say that these are leagues better than the bottom 50. But no, you can't because it's all subjective. He said, is it for your games? I told him, yes, it's the for your games. All right, anyway, number.
It's 50, they say it's 50. See it laid out with his top blown off. It's 50, man, that wasn't 50.
50. We've got Oris Ry. This one, very unique. I love the idea of this one. A whole stack of cards. Before you play the game, you will construct a 24 card deck consisting of these 90 cards. There's 6 copies of these 15 cards, and you always start the game with the Palace. The Palace anchors a fiefdom. Every card has the same back, so you can every card can be played upside down for a certain effect. Place your Palace card in front of you on the table. 1 cube is drawn from the bag. Got this little fancy bag. Got these cubes. So one player will be the red player, one player will be the blue, and then these black ones, these are the Vikings. So Vikings are like a third player. And then of course the game also can go up to 4 to 6 players. It can go up to 6 players. You just have to buy like an extra box of these to add more cards. They're all the same cards, but just more copies of them. So 1 cube is drawn from the bag to determine the first player. Place the Viking and their markers to the starting player's right. So player 1, player 2, Vikings on the right. Every player draws 5 cards for their opening hand. The starting player takes their turn and play proceeds in a clockwise manner. You're out of the game if you have no castle, no palace, or fief. So actually you can lose your palace, but you can have a separate lesser palace, which is called a castle. You need a fief is just a mass of land that's anchored by a castle or palace. Or when you're unable to draw a card from your Earl deck at the end of your turn. You get milled and can't draw, you lose. A turn consists of an Earl is not required to take an action during their turn, but they must draw a card to end their turn. Okay, on a turn you can take 1 action. Place any number of towers or place any number of army cards and garrison slots at any turn. At any time during your turn, draw 1 card from your Earl deck. This is required and ends your turn. If an Earl has no cards to draw, they consider it to pass away and the game is over. Alright, actions. Playing a card from the hand, placing a property or castle on the table, creating a lord by placing a face card onto a castle, placing a mercenary card on the table, or placing a military card, banquet, banner, treachery, or intrigue cards, aka action cards, sorcery cards, event cards. Recruiting from the army deck, only possible if an Earl has at least 1 land in their earldom. Sending a vassal or monk from hand to the Vikings as an emissary. DS9. You know what I'm talking about. Using the special ability of a monastery to force another Earl to reveal their hand. 15 cards. There's 5 of 3 types of cards. There's 3 buildings, 3 people, 3 characters, 3 types of characters, and there's 3 events. Okay, so the palace, we all know that. The castle, it starts another fief, another landmass that you can build off of. Anchors a fief. As a fief by itself, a land can be installed. An Earl must have a fief to remain on the table. Okay, land. Land, these green cards, I should just pop them up on the screen, but a land. Gain 1 army card when played into a fief. Supports 1 army card in battle, and that allows recruiting as an action. Market Town, a land played into a fief is market card, gets 2 army cards. Church, don't really ever play churches too. Well, I play them sometimes. But Prince, only 1 in play allowed per Earl. Can be a lord. Use banner. Champions, this is a card that I like. Can be a lord. Wild card in the joust. Becoming a prince or vassal is needed. Joust are this cool little mini game. It's like this beats this and this beats this, and you play 1 card each. cool thing. And then plus, like, I imagine, like, you can opt to stay in the joust or you can opt out. But if you opt out, you're gonna lose something, and if you opt in, then you can lose bigger. Cool little sub game to the game. Monks, they can be sent to the Vikings, I believe, to get you stuff. And then the event cards, treachery, that's offensive politics, destroys play to attempt to assassinate a lord, damage an Earl's hand, remove a mercenary. Banquet, draw 2 cards from your Earl deck. 3 cards will be drawn this card as you will still draw a card to end your turn. Alright, yeah. A lot of stuff in this game. Lot to kind of wrap your head around, but excellent thing. Honestly, I would say just play the app a few times before you really attempt to play this game, but excellent game. You're fighting the Vikings at the same time while you're fighting your opponents, and then you're just trying to build a good massive thing of land, or you're trying to just go ahead and knock out their castle. And then you have these soldiers and these knights, and then these cards are the joust cards. So like a soldier, that's just a 1 strength. And then you've got the knights, those are 2 strength. No, these are the monks. What am I talking about? So the soldier, this is a 1 power, this is a 1/1 effectively. And then the knights are 2 2s, 2 1s. But yeah, anyway, love that Oris Ry. Got a gameplay of it queued up, and I need to play the app on the channel. But anyway, moving on to number.
Shorty, you're fine, but you sort of remind me of a 49er. Cause you've been a gold digger since you was a minor. Been trying to.
Legend of the 5 Rings, the LCG, not to be confused with the TCG. All right, but Legend of the 5 Rings, haven't played this one in some years. I'm not gonna even hold you, but I will just read my little quick notes. All right, how to play Legend of the 5 Rings. You set up a dynasty deck, the white deck to the left, and then there's a conflict deck, the black deck to the right. In the starter deck, you're gonna have 5 provinces and 1 stronghold. Player chooses which province to set stronghold face up on top of something, and then you put both of those on top of the dynasty deck. The remaining 4 provinces go face down between both decks. Honor dial and honor pool, number on stronghold. There's an honor dial, you're gonna bid this honor. That has different effects during the game. And then honor pool. The fate is the purple flower tokens. And then players place 1 card face down on the other 4 provinces. Starting hand of 4 cards to form the conflict deck. And then 1 chance to mulligan any conflict cards you don't want. Draw first, then replace old cards, then shuffle. Okay, the phases are the dynasty phase. Reveal face down province cards, so you'll know what you're attacking into, I guess. And then collect fate equal to fate value on your stronghold card. Players alternate. Yeah, so let's take a look at the stronghold card. So this one will get you 7 fate, and then it has 11 of whatever that is, and then 10 of whatever this is. And then this one says Shizuku Toshi. Yeah. Alright, so this is a city. To play a card, you gotta pay fate in the top left. That card is moved to the home area in front of provinces. That's aka creature roll. And then after character card is played, player has option to put any number of fate tokens on it. That will keep the character in play longer. Province is refilled face down with the card from the dynasty deck. Okay, so I didn't really start reading the dynasty phase, but reveal face down province cards, collect fate equal to fate value. Players alternate taking turns. Player playing character cards from their provinces. Trigger in-play card abilities or pass. First player to pass gets +1 fate, but can't act for the rest of the phase. Alright, and then there's the draw phase. Players secretly select a number between 1 and 5 on the honor dial. And then whoever chooses the highest number gives opponent a number of honor tokens equal to the difference. Tie equals no honor exchanged. A player's draw conflict cards to honor dial equal to honor dial. So you're always bidding on how many cards you're going to draw from your conflict deck. Conflict and dynasty decks ever run out, you lose 5 honor. Then you reshuffle discard piles to make a new deck. Nice mechanic there. And then there's the conflict phase where you declare and resolve 2 conflicts in alternating turns. Each conflict element, water, air, earth, fire, and void, and type. So you've got these conflicts over these 5 tokens right here. Water, air, earth, void. So like if the red player wins it, then it'll go to the red side. Blue player wins it, they'll get it there. Yeah, so you're always fighting over those conflicts. Declare and resolve 2 conflicts in alternating turns. Each player element, water, earth, fire, air, and type, military, red, political, blue. So yeah, so these characters, they've got 2 ways of fighting. Military, red, political, blue. And then declare conflict. That means attacking player declares type and element. So you're going to be looking at so I'm going to do a political fight on the air. We're just going to skip past a lot of this, go into the fate phase. Players remove a fate token from each of their characters. If a card has no tokens, then it's removed to the discard pile along with any attachments. And then each unclaimed ring gets 1 fate token. So if it's unclaimed, then it gets another fate token to make it more juicy to get next round. First player to defeat the opponent's stronghold province wins, and then 25 honor, or forcing opponent to 0 honor also wins. That's Legend of the 5 Rings. All right, moving along to number
24 hours, I was trying to get it. I was waiting on first 48.
Buddy fight. In buddy fight, you're gonna have a flag and a buddy face up. The flag determines the type of cards you can have in the deck, and then you're gonna shuffle your deck and draw 6. Place the top 2 cards of the deck into your gauge. Roll for first player. Start phase, you ready cards, and then next you draw. First player can't draw and can only attack with 1 monster. The gauge is you place 1 card from hand in the gauge, then draw again. Then you go to the main phase, call a monster. Can call any number of monsters. Sum of called monster sizes must be 3 or less. Equip item on your flag, only 1 item at a time. If no monster in your center area, you can use item to attack your opponent or any of their monsters. Then you cast spells. Each player can play only 1 counter per attack. So you can counter a person's counter, but they can't play a 3rd counter. Only 2 counters per attack. Mini spells cost a gauge. So extra weight, extra resource or whatever. Standard spells can only be played during your main phase. Then going into the attack phase, you declare an attack, tap your guy. You cast spells. If no monster in opponent's center area, you can attack their life directly. Link attack, choose target, tap 2 or 3 of your monsters. Combine attack, power together. Also can combine their crits, the number between the power and toughness. It's direct attack. You can choose who to attack. And then final phase, you can play only 1 impact card, horizontal card, 10 life in the game. Buddy call, take same card as your buddy from your hand, place it tapped. Then take your buddy and place it into the right monster zone. 1 time per game, gain 1 life for doing this. You could heal up to 100 plus life, and there's no summoning sickness. All right, just kind of shotgun that out, but here goes the flag right here. Dragon World. Here goes a life counter. 10 life, you're maxed out. Go all the way to 0. Oh, no. And then you can go up to, I mean, it shows you going up to 24, like if you're all doing well. All right, spell cards. Nice foily. This is one of those impact cards. These are horizontal. Cool looking monster. 3-drop monster looks like. It's a 6/6, something like that. Double attack, soul guard. Cool stuff. All right, yeah, that's buddy fight. Moving along to number
47.
Universal Fighting System, now called UVS, and it was once Universes. And a big thing of this game was the My Hero Academia. They currently have the UFS thing going, but I think they've since branched out into other IPs again. But this was a big crossover IP franchise. Here goes a Soul Calibur IV that I played back in the day. Yeah, so in this game, also had Cowboy Bebop, Dave and Judy that I was talking about. Dave made me this Edward and I'm from Cowboy Bebop life counter. Two things about it. It has the progressive difficulty, and the resources in combat are unique, kind of unique. There's a staging area. Staging is how you pay for your lands, which are called foundations, resources / foundations. If you go too far where you can't pay for the check, you check the top card of your deck to be able to play it. If you can play it, you discard the card that you couldn't pay for, and combat phase ends unless you can tap your ready foundations, your ready lands, tap them to pay for it. You play a card. Whenever you play a card into your staging area, each additional one adds +1 cost to the difficulty, +1 to the difficulty. You play a card, the top left is what you got to check for / meet the difficulty of the card. You get higher number than bottom right of your deck, than the bottom right of what's on your deck, then you discard that card. So let's take a look at some of these cards. Alright, so this card right here, you gotta check a 3 difficulty to play for that one, and then you look at the bottom right of the top card of your deck that you're gonna check it with. So okay, so 6, you got a 6. I think that pays for the 3, so you're good. Then you can play this into your staging area, and this right here happens to be an attack card, so you can successfully play that attack card. If you want to play another card, then you would have to it gets progressively more difficult. Things cost +1, so like if you want to do like a second attack or whatever, then you'll have to lay it down. Like, but you could try to play like a 0 cost card, like 0 foundation, and then, like, you know, you can't lose with that one, except for it's going to be 1 instead of 0 because it's 1 progressive difficulty. But yeah, that's how that UFS goes, something to that effect. And then, okay, so you've got that's playing the cards, then you've got enhances, responses, cool kind of things on the lands. You can enhance and response, and then you've got the draw phase, draw back up to your hand size in this game. Combat. That's combat. This circle right here, this is the speed of the attack. So speed of attack is how difficult it is to block. And then the attacks, they have progressive difficulty too. Okay, block step. Block on correct. Okay, so there's like you're gonna be throwing these attacks. Okay, so this one hits for 3. So taking 3 damage whenever it resolves, if it resolves. And this is a low attack, so you're gonna be hitting low. Now, a player can block with a low block or a mid block. Like this one is also a mid block. This one blocks for 1 damage. So this one is a low. So if you're blocking, like, lows do 100% block on lows. Highs do 100% block on highs. Mids do like 100% block on a mid. But if you're blocking, if I throw a low kick, then you block with the mid block, you're still going to take half of that damage rounded up. So, yeah, so throwing a 3-speed low, and then somebody else could block with something, but 3-speed low, and then a 2-block low, and then if that resolves, then block in range, half block, take damage, rounded up, play block from hand. You play your blocks from your hand, like when you're trying to block whatever the opponent is throwing. If your block is 3, you got to check a 3 to succeed. You still have to do checks to succeed on the blocking. All right, but yeah, that's UFS, kind of like in a nutshell. Moving right along, we have number.
Who the hell is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, crack of dawn, and now I'm yawning. Wipe the cold out my eye.
Magic the Gathering, Arena of the Planeswalkers. Yet another one where I have not played my copy. I've only played somebody else's copy. But these can be found for the low at deals. I picked mine up, the whole thing, like for 15 bucks. But got these dice. This is like a kind of semi-remake of the Heroescape game. Some people like it better than Heroescape. Here goes a little Jace Bellerin. Gets you a D20 right there. It doesn't have the magic symbol on the 20 though. That's kind of stupid. But you get these weird tarot looking cards. And then how this goes is, this game didn't do well. It had 3 sets to come out. Like I said, you can find them for pretty cheap right now. Like you can probably get the base set for $10 if you look hard enough, and then the expansions for like $10, maybe even sometimes $5. Each player chooses a Planeswalker. So Planeswalker Nissa right here. You set up the cardboard map with plastic and cardboard hills and ruins. People complain it didn't come up with a lot of with enough terrain. And then you've got the little plastic terrain to add hills and such. Right here. And then there's the D20, the 4 glyphs. 4 glyphs of these little hexagons. They add different terrain types or whatever to the land. Planeswalker, if your Planeswalker dies, you lose. And then spells can play before moving or after attacking. Move 1 unit per turn, 1 army per turn. Each player draws 3 to set up the game. Draw a spell card. You can play up to 3 per turn. Sorcery spell, they go straight to the graveyard. Enchantments, you play them on the units. And then hidden enchantments, they're played face down. You select a unit to activate 3 times the number of dice when you're attacking, so 3x right here. So like, say you're activating Nissa, so her 3 right there, she's gonna roll 3 dice when she's attacking. And then this is the number of dice that she rolls when defending, 4 dice. And then there's line of sight from the green dot into the dark gray of the opponent's card. And then, like I say, hidden enchantments are like traps in this game. You play them face down. And then Planeswalker may summon up to 2 squads / heroes from the reserve. And you can now cast spells. And then move. Units can move, then attack, but not attack, then move. 1 move equals 1 hex. And then height and damage also plays a part. So Nissa, she can move 5. You're only activating 1 unit per turn or whatever. Move turn marker, complete scenario, glyphs gives you buffs. Alright. Yeah, that's been Magic, the Arena of the Planeswalkers. Fun that one time I played it. And we'll be moving along to number. Exodus. Strangely, they missed the whole Kickstarter boom of 2019 and 2020 and up. Strangely, this is made by a couple of brother and sister team. I think they're big time Christian kids. And this game, rarity matters for effects. So cards, you got 2 decks in this game. You've got an energy deck, which every energy in the game is actually the same. You get a 20 card deck of energy cards, deck of creatures and symmetries, which are like instants, and some are sorcery speed. But these stars, that shows you what the rarity of the card is. And cards often do things depending on the rarity of the card. So every creature, they have no stats on them, as you can see. Skyward Scythe, no stats on it. Bedgaroth, no stats on them. The things that gives them the power and toughness is how many energy you have attached to them. So now this becomes a 3/3 with 3 energy. With no energy on it, you attack. When you attack a creature, they lose energy depending on how many energy is on the other creature. And then all these creatures, they have no text, but these symmetries, they have text on them. So like this right here, Leech, so 1-star rarity, so common. But choose one energy from a creature or pile on your opponent's side of the field and have them discard that energy card. Then take one energy card from your energy deck and add it to a creature or pile on your opponent's side of the field. Alright, so yeah, so let's kind of read some more about Exodus. So rarity matters for in-game effects. 1-star common, 2-star uncommon, 3 stars rare. You get 10 life in the game, 20 main deck cards, and 20 energy cards. Face up energy, all in the same. There are all the same card energies. A single pile of energy can't exceed 3. So unless a card affects, you can only rearrange energy played this turn. So you can put a pile of energy down, just 3 energy with no creature on top of it. Number of energy under a creature is their attack/defense. And symmetries are instants, can be played at any time, not just on your turn. Can pay energy from creatures on board, so you can bring the creatures closer to death by taking their own energy off of them. And there's direct attack, and then you tap a creature when you're attacking. Nice simple game. Enjoyed that one. Played that one 4 times. And moving right along to number.
Still tipping on 4 rapping, 4 rapping, 4 pimping, 4 hoes, and no hacking, and no packing, 4 blowing.
Is Transformers, the card game. I don't have my big oversized, big huge avatars, your main characters, but those ones start the game on the field, and you have 25 points of them. Alright, so to win, you're going to have to kill all of the opponent's bots, and then you set up all on the alt mode, the vehicle mode, not the robot transformer mode, but you get 25 stars worth of characters in a deck. This is a game of 3 copies of, you draw 3 to set up, can play 1 action, 1 upgrade, and you can flip 1 character per turn, and then you finish turn with 1 attack. So is attack. You tap to attack, and then ground characters can have 1 of each type of upgrade on them, and that's a weapon, armor, or utility. And then you must attack tap guys if any are tapped. Both players draw 2 per turn. Blue pips add to defenders. Defense. So like whenever like you attack, then you're also gonna check the top of the deck, and then you're gonna add the pips, if any, to your attack or defense if you're attacking or defending. So blue gives the defender more defense, and then orange gives the attacker more points on that attack. So like this one does a 4 attack, but if you had that pip, then it'll do 5 attack. And then the white lets you draw another card when doing the check, but you can't add 2 white pips, only 1 white pip counts. Alright, when all players' characters are tapped, they all untap. If yours are tapped but opponents aren't, they can keep attacking. So when everybody's stuff is tapped, then everything untaps. But until everything is tapped, then one guy can keep on attacking until everything is tapped on the field. Cool, quick, easy game to play. Transformers, played that one like 5 times. Alright, moving right along to number
43 bumper stickers and a YOLO life
that's Mythic Battles. So like this one is by Yellow, but they actually have a big fancy miniatures version. But the older version, which I got both, but I'm just keeping this one. But this one uses just little cardboard sets to be the characters, to represent the characters. And this game is a little like the game HeroClix, if you've ever played that one, where the characters, whenever they get hit, they actually have different stats once they get hit. So like this right here, like this Lycan's character, it'll start as a 4 health, I believe. They got all these stats, but then once it gets hit, then it'll turn into this form of it, which has 3 of this red and then 2 of this purple or whatever. But like, you know, they could have been HeroClix, but they are cards like this. So you're gonna pick 4 boards with which to play on, and then 4 boards, your pick. Blue arrow equals a flyer build from 1 army, Hades, Zeus, and neutral. Top right equals the point cost, 100 points. That's a basic game, so top right is point cost. Top left is health, so 4 health like I thought. Second numbers are attack and move. If you have that little move arrow, the movement without attacking. This one right here, this is a melee. Range is the arrow. Defense is naturally the shield looking thing. And then purple is like an extra kind of resource or whatever you can spend. And then lose health, change your character card. Stats go down or up, like I was saying. So sometimes things counterattack. Get your actions and cards. You're moving on this grid. You're attacking. You're trying to come out on top, I'm sure. And the win con is, more than likely, the win con is to have your guys left and there's a gun. And this also has the dice. These dice right here, they go from 0 to 5, and then certain things can hit for more, but you're gonna have to, it has a unique style of rolling. I forget it honestly at the moment, but you're gonna roll and then you can waste the dice to try to meet a certain number to hit a guy. That's how that goes. All right, a bunch of characters you can choose from the 2 factions and the neutral. But yeah, enjoyed this game the 1 or 2 times I played it. And we'll move right along to...
I was the king of New York rocking sandals with jeans, and he's 42 years old. Back to business. You ain't the only one with big wallets.
Unmatched. You'll be playing on this board right here. There's several different boards, several different sets of this game. Right here, I've got my Battle of Legends Volume 2. They've got a bunch of Marvel in this game and a lot of public commons characters like Frankenstein and the Mummy and stuff like that, Bloody Mary, and Marvel. And there's even Bruce Lee's in the game, a lot of stuff. All right, so in this game, you'll take one of these pre-constructed decks and one of these miniatures, Bloody Mary's miniature, and then you'll place them on the board somewhere where they start. They've got their life counter. Once they drop to 0, you lose. And then you've also got, sometimes you've got a little sidekick. Sometimes they have a life dial. Sometimes they'll just have a token. I think this guy's like Goku, the guy that Goku's based off of. Yeah, so how this game goes is you'll have this stack of cards. I think it's like a 30-card deck or something. But this game started as the Star Wars Epic Battles. People still try to get that and play that today. But to win, you got to reduce the opponent's health counter to 0. Many heroes have a sidekick with a life dial, and then some just have a token, like I said. Any space connected with a line is adjacent. Same color and pattern equals you're in the same zone. But and then attack equals this PAL symbol right here. Attack equals that symbol right there. That's attack. Scheme, which is just a sorcery event action card. That's a scheme. And then, of course, defense is just a shield. Defense you can play. Name card is who can play it. So any cards can be played by anybody. You might have multiple figures on your field. So, okay, like Archer can play this one, and then your Ninja can play this one. Alright, so on turn, you must take 2 actions, and then the actions are 1, draw, then move up to the move number on the hero card. Got a hero card there somewhere. Alright, then you play a scheme card is the second option. You can melee attacks adjacent on the board, and then range can attack anything in the same zone, a la the same color. You can play attack cards face down, and then opponent can choose to play 1 defense card face down, and then you reveal at the same time. Defender takes excess damage. So this card can be an attack or a defense. Can attack for 4 or defend for 4. And then immediately after combat on played card, you discard down to 7 in hand, and if you have no more deck, then you don't reshuffle, but you take 2 damage if you're milled and can't draw. Lovely game. Another very elegant system that's unmatched. Alright, and last but kind of the best for me, certainly not the least. Fight for Olympus. Very slept on game by Matthias Kramer. This little board right here, you share a stack of cards, put one of the purples on the 0-point tracker, and then all colored circles into Delphi, the rondelle. Okay, so all colored circles go in there, the rondelle, and then damage is the purple circles on the end cap. Put 20 random cards back into the box. So you'll have this stack of cards, put 20 of them randomly back into the box, and then each player's dealt 6 cards. So play a card, you got to discard that many cards of that color to play. So for instance, Amazons, you don't have to discard any cards to play Amazons. It's a 0 attacker, 2 toughness. Penelope, she's gonna cost 2 greens to be able to play her, and then she has a power. Pollux, you'll need to discard 1 blue card, 1 red, 1 green, and then as you can see, Pollux is a blue card. Ajax is just a wild card, just a nothing card. Sword is a green. Aeneas, can play to any open spot on your side of the board. And then the board has these number of slots right here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 1 spot that can get you like influence over here, 2 spots at Delphi, 3 spots at this victory point tracker place. This cross swords, whenever it attacks, you get that power. And then ongoing effects right there. During the game, this always happens. So long as you got your guy still alive on that side of the board or whatever, it's gonna be popping off for you. And then there's the attack phase. If you attack, an opponent has no defense in first 2 spaces, you get 1 point of the 7 to win. So you're like attacking with the guys that you put on the board or whatever. And then if you attack into the 2 Delphi spots, you can take 1 colored disc. 1 colored disc can be discarded as play cards. These lightning signs, they are one-time effects. Okay, so like lightning right there, that's a one-time effect. So like instead of having to spin cards from your hand, you can just discard disc. And then you attack into the Troy spot and no opponents there, then you can draw a card. That's Troy, the 1 spot. After attack phase, you draw 2 and pass turn. Start of your turn, all 6 spots filled on your side, you auto win. So you got all 6 of your sides of the board filled, you auto win. And then deck milled, player with most points wins the game. And at 0, then that's the tie. Slept on game, could deserve some more attention. All right, but 48 minutes, I'm making these things way too long, but we'll get to the editing and see. But all right, come back in another few days for number 40 through 31.